Mr. Squidward, welcome to the night shift.
Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's having a really good Thursday night. I'm LoroAntonio. Welcome to a new episode of The Night Shift. Isaiah Leong is off tonight, so you're going to be with me for the next hour of The Night Shift. So let's start with some hockey news here. So first of all, the Los Angeles Kings, however, beat the Dallas Stars 4-0. It was a quiet first period. I'll tell you what, it was fun to see Snoop Dogg in the building. He announced the Kings starting lineup, and then he also got to join Alex Faust and Jim Fox during the broadcast, and we'll go from there. So anyways, in the first period, it was scoreless, and then in the second period, Adrian Kempe scored his 11th goal with Dustin Brown and Philip Dano getting assists. And then in the third period, it was 3 straight goals. One by Arthur Kaliev, who has 5 goals on the season. Victor Arvidsson has come along very nicely, and he has 5 goals. That was an unassisted goal he had. And then Andreas Athanasiou had scored his 3rd goal of the season, 3rd since coming back from injury. And Matt Roy and Alex Edler with the assist. And then our 3 stars of the game were Jonathan Quick, Adrian Kempe, and Drew Doughty. And Jonathan Quick performed a shutout of the Kings today. So let's go to our comment section. And John Hammond has a comment, but we're going to get to his comment in just a little bit. So anyways, now let's go on to football, but my thoughts overall, the Kings played a really good hockey game, and it was a big win for the Kings to beat a team like the Dallas Stars. I mean, Dallas is a really good team, and I think that the Dallas Stars are a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Central, because that division is very deep, and you go from there. So anyways, now we'll talk about the Kings and Wild game here. So the Kings and the Wild will be going head-to-head. That game will be at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. I'll probably be tuning in for the last part of the game, because I'll be doing Warriors and Sixers on Saturday prime time, which is going to be a really good game here. So Minnesota's a really good team. Kirill Kaprizov has 10 goals with 22 assists, and the Wild are 19-6-1, and they are leading the Central Division. And then the Blues are 14-8-4, and then the Predators are 15-10-1. So those are your division leaders here, and then the Flames, the Ducks, and the Oilers are both 1-2-3, and the Kings are 11-10-4. All right, let's get to football here. So let's start with the breaking news that we have for you right now. It is actually sad news to be reporting to you all, is that former Broncos wide receiver, he was actually on the Patriots for a bit, and then he was a New York Jet because Adam Gase was their head coach. It was Demaryius Thomas, who passed away from a brain aneurysm at age 33. My thoughts is that it was unfortunate for that to happen, and I think that my thoughts and prayers go out to his family, and also my condolences go out to Demaryius Thomas's family. So rest in peace, DT, and he will always be remembered as a fan favorite of the Denver Broncos, and I think this is a devastating but shocking news right there. So, anyways, now let's go on to the Thursday night game that we're going to be talking about here. Is that the Pittsburgh Steelers nearly came back to beat the Minnesota Vikings by the final of 36-28. If Freemuth made that catch, it would have been a touchdown, and then the Steelers would have gone for two. And if they converted that successfully, it would have been a tie football game, and we could have had overtime football. So, anyways, Dalvin Cook had 27 rushes with 205 yards with 2 rushing touchdowns. And we'll go from the. And I thought that it was a good. And I thought he had a really good game, and I thought that the Vikings were to choke. So I was reading through one of my group messages, Brandon Herrera. I mean, if you're watching, I tell you, if you're watching right now, you might agree with me on this. He thinks Mike Zimmer could get fired. But I'm like, not necessarily. If the Vikings make the playoffs, then I really think that that his job would be safe. So, anyways, we're just sending this video here to the MI6 and Coast to Coast teams. So, anyways, bear with me here, and we're about to get us. Let's continue on here. So, the question of the day is, will the Minnesota Vikings beat out the crowded field of NFC teams and snag a wild card spot? I'm like, if they win out, then yes. If they lose one of their games coming up, then no. So that's my answer for you. So Richard Sherman returned to Tampa Bay Buccaneers practice today following a lengthy layoff due to a quad injury. How big of a boost is Sherman's return to the Bucs, D? It is a big, big boost. And I say that because I think that Richard Sherman is definitely a guy that makes offenses look nasty, look bad, especially with the way that he covers people and all that good stuff. So that's kind of my take there. So anyways, I'll tell you which Week 14 game I'm most looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing against the Buffalo Bills. Actually, folks, I'm actually going to be calling that game on Colorcast, and I'm looking forward to calling this game. And I'm looking forward to a really good matchup between Tom Brady and Josh Allen. And I think that Brady's probably going to be getting the most out of Josh Allen here. So, anyways, with that being said here, let's go on to college football, and then let's welcome in our friend John Hammond, who's tuning in with some comments here. So he says, who do you think will win between Army and Navy? We're going to preview that game for you now, folks. So I am going to pick the Navy shipment. I think that, I haven't watched a lot of those games, but I only watched the Army-Navy game. I always go for Navy because Bill Belichick went to that school. His dad coached there. And I think that that we will see a competitive football game between those two, because Army, Navy, those teams are fun to watch. I'll tell you that. So I just wanted to get that out there to you all and go from there. So anyways, I picked Navy to win, like I said. So Oregon has interviewed Cal's head coach, Justin Wilcox, and also have reached out to UCLA head coach and ex-head coach during the glory days, Chip Kelly, and plans to interview him for their head coaching gig. Should Oregon hire Justin Wilcox, or do they go with Chip Kelly as their next head coach? You know what? I think that if you look at it, I think that they should hit the home run and bring back Chip Kelly, because Mario Cristobal is now in Miami because Manny Diaz got fired. And I think that Chip Kelly should go back to Oregon and bring back the glory days of Oregon football. But I could still think Oregon and USC could be going in the Pac-12 championship next year. But I think that's going to be an interesting headline here. I think UCLA is going to be really good. They still have a bright future, even if Chip Kelly leaves UCLA to go back to Oregon, which I think if I were Chip Kelly, I think he should do this. He should take the Oregon job, because Chip Kelly is Oregon football, and I think that the Oregon Ducks will be in a good place there. So we have another comment here. So No None says, Navy will probably win because they have nuclear weapons. And then Army only has tanks. And then Isaiah Leon, what's up, man? He says, checking in the middle of kicking it with Isaiah and Ace. What's up, Loro? And I'm like, what's up, Isaiah? Oh, how are you doing? I hope you're holding down the fort there. So if you have time, hop on with me. So anyways, so I'll continue on with our program. But I was saying that I do think, however, Chip Kelly should be the next head coach at Oregon. I think they should steal him from UCLA. And I think UCLA should hire a head coach that could still get them in the right track. You know, like maybe Mac Brown from North Carolina. I don't know if that should happen. Or do they go Jim Mara or something like that? I'm kind of thinking, I don't think they should go Cliff Kingsbury. I think he's not really thinking about that, but we'll see. So, anyways, Fresno State brings back a familiar face to be their head coach, and that is Jeff Tedford to be their head coach. And my thoughts on this is that I think that's a good move, but, you know, he knows this organization, this program well, and I think he will do a good job with this program. And Fresno State's a good football school. And then a surprising but stunning move here, that star USC wide receiver Drake London has declared for the 2022 NFL Draft despite fracturing and missing USC's final 4 games. And do I believe that London made the right move by declaring for the draft, or should he have come back to school for one more year to fully recover and build back his stock? I think he should have came back to USC and built that up his draft stock. I think that him entering the draft, he is probably going to be falling to either the second or third round pick. I think that this upcoming draft class is going to be defense heavy, and I think that teams that need defensive help will definitely get better here. So, anyways, folks, now we'll talk about the NBA. So the Lakers, however, got demolished by Ja Morant and Dylan Brooks-less Memphis Grizzlies team, 108-95. And I was like, why would you lose to the Grizzlies team without Ja Morant and also without Dylan Brooks? And I think that's disappointing. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, you should fire Frank Vogel now. This team's not healthy. I get it. But still, you have to play better basketball now than later in the season. That way, if you get off to hot starts, then you'll have an easier time down the stretch in stringing together wins. But the Lakers tomorrow, they'll take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And my thoughts on this is that the Lakers better not lose to OKC. And if not, then they should be ashamed and embarrassed of themselves if they lose to OKC. And then, with that being said here, I do think that the Lakers will find a way to get a win here. So, anyways, the Indiana Pacers, who currently sit at 10-16, are reportedly willing to trade Miles Turner, Karis LeVert, Malcolm Brogdon, and Domantas Sabonis to rebuild. Should that happen? I would say no. If you're playing, if you take a look at the standings in the Eastern Conference, let's take a look. The Indiana Pacers are 13th right now in the East. They're behind Toronto. They're behind the Knicks. And I'm like, if you're in pace for that play-in game, then no, you don't trade those pieces. You don't trade everybody to go to a rebuild. The Pacers shouldn't even think about a rebuild right now. So, my answer is no. So, I'm going to say no because of all that. Because I think that I'm going to say no just because I think the Pacers can still find a way to make the playoffs and make the play-in tournament. And it's because Rick Carlisle's there and he's going to do what he can to turn around this roster. But he's in a situation that the Pacers are in a rebuild, and I think he's the right person to lead the rebuild for the Indiana Pacers. So we'll take a look at the West standings right now. You got the Warriors and Suns 1-2. Should be Warriors, Suns, Lakers, to be honest. And then the Jazz are third, the Grizzlies are fourth, and then the LA Clippers are fifth, and then the Dallas Mavericks are sixth, and then the Lakers, however, are seventh. They're 13-13. And then the Nuggets are 12-13. And then the T-Wolves are 11-14. And the Kings are 11-14. But I think Portland should just leapfrog them for that play-in tournament. And then the Kings are probably going to be dropping down on the standings with them and San Antonio, Houston, OKC, and the Pelicans. So I think that that's what to answer your question. But we'll now get to the standings for the NFL. So we'll talk about the Patriots, the AFC East. So you got the Patriots in first place, the Bills in second, the Dolphins in third, with the New York Jets in last place. So anyways, for the New England Patriots, I'll tell you this, folks. The Patriots are back, and I'll tell you why. Since that 2-4 start and that last loss coming against the Dallas Cowboys, this New England Patriot team has turned this season around, and I think that Mac Jones is already the real deal in New England, as you all know here. And I think that I think that the Patriots, to me, they could win the Super Bowl. But I also think, could you be surprised if we could see Brady and the Bucs go up against Bill Belichick and the Patriots in the Super Bowl? That could definitely happen. But people say that it's a 10% chance of happening. We'll see here. And now on to the AFC North. You got the Baltimore Ravens, 8-4. And then the Bengals, 7-5. The Steelers, 6-1. And then the Browns, 6-6. So basically that division is still wide open. But to me, it's going to come down between the Ravens and the Bengals. And in the AFC South. And the Titans are 8-4, so they are one game up of the Colts. The Colts are 7-6. Don't sleep on the Colts. They could be playing for first place here next Saturday, which we'll talk about next Saturday as well. And then the Texans are 2-10, and the Jaguars are 2-10. And then in the AFC West, the Chiefs are 8-4, the Chargers are 7-5, the Raiders are 6-6. And the Broncos are 6-6. And then in the NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys are 8-4. With the Washington football team at 6-6, the Philadelphia Eagles at 6-7, and the New York Football Giants at 4-8. And in the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers are 9-3. The Minnesota Vikings are 6-7. The Chicago Bears are 4-8, and the Detroit Lions are 1-10-1. And in the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 9-3. The Carolina Panthers are 5-7. The Atlanta Falcons are 5-7, and the New Orleans Saints are 5-7. So basically, second place is pretty much up for grabs, with the exception of Tampa Bay leading the division. And I think it's the NFC South, to me, is already a runaway division. So, anyways, folks, now that being said here, let's take a look at the NFC West standings. The Arizona Cardinals are 10-2. The LA Rams are 8-4. And then the Niners are 6-6. And the Seattle Seahawks are 4-8. So, anyways, my thoughts is that I think we're going to see a lot of division races heating up, and I think that's what we are going to see here, and that's what I envision, and that's what I picture. So, anyways, now with that being said here, let's. So John Hammond has a comment for us, and he says, will you please talk about UFC Duns men's basketball, who are 10-0? And to answer your question, John, this could be a Cinderella story in the NCAA tournament. It's like too early for me to speculate on who's Cinderella story in college basketball. It's just a start, and I will start paying attention more to college basketball when they start conference play in January. So, hope everybody knows that. So, anyways, with that being said here, let's talk some baseball here. So basically, Ian Happ was saying that the owners didn't even make a proposal before the lockout, which I was kind of surprised about. So, anyways, with that being said here, however, I'll tell you what, Gil Hodges is in the Hall of Fame, and I kind of think that, and I also kind of want to tell you guys this. I think you got to vote Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame in their final year of eligibility. And that if they don't get in this year, then I think you could see them get in as in the senior bracket, which I really think could definitely happen here. So that's what I was that's kind of my theory there, just because that's kind of my theory there. So I kind of think that you want to see Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds, and also put in Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame as well. Also, some other NBA scores to talk about, folks, is that the Denver Nuggets, however, they lost to the Spurs 111-123. That was one of the 3 games today. And then the Utah Jazz beat the Philadelphia 76ers 118-96. So, anyways, folks, with that being said here, here's a bit of my preview of what's to come. John. So sorry about that, folks. So here's a bit of a preview on what's to come for Lakers Thunder. So what I want to see from the Lakers tomorrow, you got to play better defense. You got to double team Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then you also have to find a way to score more points in the paint, more 3 balls, and also more defense, less offense for the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers, they don't have any problems scoring the basketball. I think their main issue is defense, perimeter defense, they've like still allowed way too many threes. And my thoughts is that Jeannie Buss said that she is mum on Frank Vogel's decision, and I think that Frank Vogel is going to be safe. So, anyways, hope everybody is. Anyways, folks. With that being said, here. I hope it has been a really good show. Sorry that it wasn't longer than expected here. So we'll just end it with some final thoughts. It's been a great show, folks, and I want to thank Isaiah for tuning in. I also want to thank John Hammond for leaving in some of his comments as well, but we're missing JC King and Justin Bosman, who's normally the MVP of the show. So even though that it wasn't the show that we've expected it, thank you all for tuning in. And Isaiah, next time when you're on, we'll make this show a bit longer. So I promise you that. So hope everybody has a good night, and I'll see everyone tomorrow. I'll see Isaiah and Adam Barber tomorrow on Wild Sports Talk. And I'll be on the call tomorrow on Colorcast for when the Lakers take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Have a great night, everyone.